Hey, I hope you're having a great Wednesday afternoon. I'm 9 News Meteorologist Chris Bianchi with another look at your Colorado weather forecast. And we do have some snow for us in the mountains, a little bit of rain in a few spots in far northern Colorado, not a big deal. But we do have the potential for a bit of slushy snow for tomorrow night and Friday morning for the northern mountains, and then for us in Denver. Friday night is when we could see some snow down here into the lower elevations. Let's start things off, though, by taking a look at Grand Lake, where we do have a bit of a break in the action. You can kind of tell the weather story just by looking at what you're seeing right in there. Off in the distance, you can see, right above you, you see that sunshine, but off in the distance, you can certainly see some of those building clouds. So it's kind of on again, off again snow showers for us in our central and northern mountains on this Wednesday. But in Denver, lots of sunshine overhead and just a few clouds bubbling on up into the front range. And I think we are looking at that potential for a bit in the way of snowfall for Friday night for us in town, but it's not looking like it's that big of a deal. So mild today, temperatures above 50 degrees. Mountain snowfall looks light, and Denver snowfall, we'll get some on Friday, but that also looks pretty light as well. Temperatures right now, we're in the 50s, 60s, eastern plains, 20s and 30s for us into the high country. And AC Doppler radar right now is mostly going to be on the busier side in the mountains. That's where we're seeing some of that action. By the way, before I kind of zoom on in on the mountains, I do want to show you that in northern Colorado, you might notice a few of those stray rain showers up here by Sterling. That would be on up into Logan County. Again, a little bit of rain, maybe reaching the ground, just a few raindrops. Just kind of looks probably a bit ominous up there with some cloud cover. But the real action's here into our northern mountains, where we're getting some of those hit or miss snow showers. Most of those concentrated right now into the Front Range Mountains, where we're seeing some of that snowfall along the Peak to Peak Highway, as well as down about the I-70 corridor. That's where we're seeing some of that snowfall at this point. But again, accumulations are fairly light. But if you're traveling over Berthoud and Rabbit Ears, at this point, it looks like Berthoud Pass would be your slickest spot right now. And down also through Monarch Pass, McClure Pass, I would normally say Cottonwood Pass, that's closed for the season. Some of the passes along the Highway 50 corridor are seeing a little bit of snow as well at this hour. But it's mostly light snow along north of I-70. That dissipates tonight. And then for us here in the Denver area, we've got another quiet day ahead for tomorrow. But it's also a little bit breezy out there. We've had wind gusts up into the 25 to 30 mile an hour range for us in the heart of the urban corridor into the high country. That's where those winds really gusting up to about 50 miles an hour for us at Loveland Pass right now. Berthoud Pass had a 60 mile an hour gust earlier on today. Tonight, temperatures drop back in the mid-20s for us. And for tomorrow, similar to today, highs once again in the mid-50s for us here in town. And those highs, 50s, 60s, eastern plains, 30s and 40s for us into the high country. But our next storm system, I've been mentioning that chance for some snow for us here in the urban corridor. It's going to come thanks to a cold front that moves on in from the north and from the east. And what that's going to do as it pushes its way out through on Friday, it'll usher in, obviously, colder air. It's a cold front after all, but also the potential for a bit of snow for us. A little bit of slushy snow is the way it looks right now for our Friday. Those temperatures are going to also drop as well, as you might imagine. Heavier mountain snowfall tomorrow night. Out ahead of that storm system, and that's where we could see, we could actually get some pretty decent totals. I think in our northern mountains, we're talking about 6 to 12 inches plus. So if you're joining us from Steamboat, Winter Park, that's where you're going to probably end up with 10 inches plus worth of snowfall. Along and south of I-70, a few inches looking likely for our central mountains, but this is going to be a northern storm, northwest flow, which means our northern mountains will get in on the action primarily. Denver, we get some snow on Friday night. Doesn't look overly impactful with borderline temperatures and not a ton of moisture, but enough that we could get maybe a slushy inch or so in a few spots, and that would be mainly on colder surfaces, think car tops and grass, things like that, but not a ton for us the rest of the metro area. This is another look here at the Loveland ski area where it's been snowing all day long, and that will continue for us as we head over the next little while. 7-day forecast for us here in Denver. It's going to be mostly on the quiet side for tomorrow, and then some of that slushy snow for Friday. And then for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we warm on up back into the 50s. And how about some 60s for next week? We'll be in the mid-60s for next week. But once again, just to kind of highlight that snow chance for tomorrow night and Friday, this does look to be a low impact event for us with what I would term a snow big deal. Snow, again, bit of slush, low to no impacts for most of the metro area. But again, a few spots could get an inch, maybe some slush and some colder surface on some side streets and some shaded areas on those roads Friday night. So just worth keeping in mind. But just, again, overall, a low impact event. Chief Meteorologist Kathy Seaman will have more for us coming up at 9 News at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 tonight on the 9 News family of networks. Once again, I'm 9 News Meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus.